Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Daru here with another Options in Play video update. Today's video going to be a little bit different. Obviously, you can already tell, no chart, right? So normally a lot of these videos involve a chart talking about some sort of setup, maybe like individual trade idea, earnings, trades, right? This is a little bit different, a little bit more basic, just, kind of like maybe something that I've like, kind of like neglected to go over, even though like I've included this in videos before, but I haven't really gone over it. And actually, it came up as a question just on the last option session, just how like I set up my like trading platform, so my like option trading platform, and I realized I maybe not something I'd really gone over before, so just figured it's like a good time to do it. So what you have up here, okay? So like this is the option chain, all right. This is essentially where I get all of my option information, right? So like the pricing, the contracts, strikes, what have you. So I'm going to kind of walk through it really quick just to kind of go over it because I haven't really done it in the past, all right? So I'm just using Amazon here. It doesn't matter. Like the stock doesn't matter. It's really not important. But I'm using Amazon. You can see that this is live, right? Because the prices are changing. Okay. So live here. I mean, like it'll just kind of show you like the dynamic prices. But really, like when it comes to option trading, there's a ton of information, right? So I mean, maybe not every like each trader probably has like their own style. Maybe they look at different things. So what I'm going to talk about just what I use on a day-to-day basis, okay? Because like there's a lot of information, a lot of technical, or excuse me, a lot of fundamental indicators, a lot of option indicators, all these like this like confluence of data coming at you, and you really need to like kind of like sift through what's important and what's not. All right, so very simply, right? I mean, like so the calls on the left, puts on the right, and really like what I use are what you see here. Okay, so bid ask, obviously inside market. That's what I need to know, right? Like where the bid at, where's the ask at? Like if I'm trying to get in, what am I paying? If I'm trying to get out, what am I selling, right? You can see basically what the last was, what it changed on the day. So this is like the dollar change on the day. Okay, bid ask spread, volume, right? So this is the amount of contracts traded on that session, and then open interest is really important. Okay, so obviously there's a difference between the volume what's traded today and the open interest, which is basically like the net open exposure at that contract coming into the session. All right, so this isn't going to update on a fluid basis during the session. It'll update after like the market closes. All right, and so tomorrow, like this will most likely be different because obviously there's been over 3,700 contracts traded, so odds are that some of this open interest is either added or closed. All right, so this will change, not not during the day, but it'll after the close and after everything gets settled, and you can see what's added, what's closed. Okay, now these are really like the only two Greeks I look at during the day. All right, delta and theta. Okay, that's kind of it. I know maybe some people use Vega, maybe some people use Gamma. Personally, I like to know about them just from like a strictly like option education. Maybe like maybe occasionally, very rare, they will come up in like an actual trade for me. But on a day-to-day basis, it's delta and theta. All right. So I want to know like how sensitive the stock is to a point move, or how sensitive the option is to a point move in the stock, and I want to know how much time value on a day-to-day basis is built into that contract. Right. So delta sensitivity option to the stock price movement, and then theta basically the option sensitivity to time value and like time erosion, right? So those are really the only two Greeks I use on a day-to-day basis. All right, applied volatility, again, really important. Um, to a certain extent, like this will factor in maybe more so on swings or catalyst trades. If I'm just doing day trades, maybe not so much. Day trades to me, very, very short-term hold-in periods, maybe sometimes minutes to hours. So implied volatility, maybe not as important on the very short-term trades, but if I'm looking at initiating a swing, if I'm looking at initiating like a catalyst, maybe like an earnings trade, implied volatility, that's something I'm really going to look at during the session, okay? And then historical volatility, a little bit less so, but again, it's kind of like a reference. So I just talked about this last week. Implied volatility, historical volatility. Historical volatility, I like having it up there, kind of like a benchmark reference point. I may not use it every single day. Again, like if implied volatility, if it's just like a short-term trade and I'm not really that interested in the implied volatility of the options, then I'm probably not really interested in the historical volatility of the options as well. But if it's like a swing or a catalyst trade, again, I mean, like this is something that I want to have up there, even though I might not use it for every single trade idea or every single time I pull up like an option, but I just like to have it there as kind of like a benchmark reference point. Okay, and your trading platform might be different. This is Sterling. Sterling options. Yours could be different. Maybe the layout's not exactly the same. Maybe they don't offer some of these, or maybe they offer more. Again, this is really just what I like to use. This is my personal preference. This is what I feel like is important for me to make trade ideas, to make decisions on a day-to-day basis. Even then, I know there are a lot of numbers, right? And sometimes, so sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. Especially if like I'm trying to like pull up and trade something very fast, like you have all these different strikes, you have all these different expirations, right? Because when I collapse this, you can see like all these different expirations, and then when you open it up, I mean, I didn't even like expand it. You can see it's just all of these different strike prices. So, when I want to trade something very quickly, get in and out very quickly, it can be a little bit frustrating because there's so many, and like it like when you have to like expand it and collapse it. So, um, you know, everything has its pros, everything has its cons. But that's personally, I guess, one of like my pet peeves. Like sometimes when you expand like the option chains, and especially a name like Amazon that has like hundreds of strikes offered, it can be a little bit frustrating when you're trying to find a specific strike. Maybe it's like out of the money, right? But again, like I just wanted to go over this just because I've brought this up in videos before. I mean, I've showed this particular window. I haven't really talked about it in depth, and it actually came up in conversation just recently. So figured if maybe one person had a question about it, maybe other people did. So it's a good opportunity to just go over just again, like my option chain, what I'm looking at, what I'm using on a day-to-day basis. All right. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to help if I can. If you like this video and you're looking for more information on options trading or maybe more option trade ideas, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options at play. All right. Have a fantastic night, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.